Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I'm Ronique, and I appreciate you joining me here on my YouTube channel every lunation cycle as we talk about what the energies that are affecting us here down on Earth. Whether it is a new moon or a full moon, I like to tap into the energies just to find out how we can better use the energies to move through these cycles in our lives. I pull some tarot cards and I also look at the different aspects of astrology. And also I hope that these videos help you try to use and plan your life a little better. I think that sometimes when you know what's coming up, no different than, listening to the weather before you go out. If you know that it's going to be rainy and you're going to need an umbrella, it's a lot better than, getting out there and thinking that it's going to be a sunny day and it's not. So I think that this astrology and tarot is a great way to tap into the energies so that we can figure out what our astro forecast is going to be. So thank you for joining me. So today we're going to talk about the new moon in Aries that occurs on April 11th, 2021 at 22 degrees and 24 minutes of Aries, and it's at 10:30 p.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to show you here on my astrology wheel what is going on in the universe. So up here, as I spoke about, we have the sun and the moon sitting in Aries at 22 degrees and 24 minutes. They're sitting conjunct each other, so that means they are sitting right next to each other in the sky. New moon energy is usually when the moon you cannot see here from Earth since it is sitting right next to the sun. And this is a manifesting, setting new goals energy, as opposed to like the full moon is usually like releasing, letting things go. But I like to think of the new moon and the full moon at the end or the beginning of a cycle, because I think that when one energy moves through, then it usually means that another energy is starting. So you can kind of look at the new moon and full moon in my eyes as a beginning and an ending in each cycle. Now at this new moon in Aries, it's very interesting because right now we are at this very first new moon of the new astrological year. And I think that that's really important because for the next 12 months, whatever seeds of intention you put on this new moon, you're going to see manifest over these next 12 months. And I like to compare it to when we have, the traditional New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, setting new goals during January. That's what I think you should look at this new moon in Aries cycle, because this definitely is this energy of where is it that you can start and plant new goals, new ideas. Remember, Aries is a fire sign and it's an initiating sign. And since Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac, there's all this energy behind what goals do you want to set? What dreams have you been thinking about and haven't been able to accomplish, or you haven't gotten momentum? Like, this is the energy to start whatever you've been very hesitant to, or you've been scared. This is the time to start. And another reason why I say that is we have the sun, the moon, we also have Mercury and Venus and Chiron all sitting in Aries at this time, and all planets are direct at this time. We don't have any planets that are retrograde, which means the entire universe has this momentum behind it. So you may be able to feel this too. Like, I feel like I felt it at work. I feel like I see it in my personal life. It just feels like everything is like go, 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 go. You know what I mean? Like, you almost don't have time to like stop and like rest in the energy. And so I want you to use that momentum during this Aries new moon energy, because it really is going to be this manifesting, like, okay, you're going to have quicker ideas, goals are going to come quicker to you. You may like be talking to people and synergize with people a lot better. I think also because this Mercury is in Aries, so it's like that communication, meeting with people. If this is like a job interview, or you're thinking about changing careers, or you're trying to get more organized, like this is really a good energy for like manifesting. And so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably one of the best new moons of the entire year, because it does have all this forward momentum. And also, like I was saying, the thing with this Venus also in Aries, there's also themes around anything that is Venus ruled. So that could be your finances, your health, your well-being, taking care of yourself, getting things in order. This really is this energy of like, okay, what is it that I need to get started? You know, do I need to go get a loan? Do I need to apply for, you know, a new bank account? Or, you know, am I trying to like go after that grant? Like whatever it is, this is the time to start it. And another thing I want to show you though is at this new moon, we actually have Pluto sitting over here in Capricorn, squaring Venus here that I just spoke of, dealing with like your money, health. So there could be some energies of fear, because Pluto is that like letting go, fears, things that are kind of on the dark side, things that we don't normally share with others. So like fear, maybe negative thoughts around your Venus ruled themes. So please keep that in mind too at this new moon in Aries, because I'm going to look at my chart over here, but I believe there's like a lot of aspects going on at this new moon. So yes, it looks like Pluto sits at Capricorn at 26 degrees and 44 minutes, and Venus is sitting in Aries at 26 degrees and 44 minutes. So there is that perfect square happening right along the time of that Aries new moon. So just keep those fears at bay. I want you to be aware of them, so that if they creep up, you know, if you go apply for something that you like you finally have the initiative and drive to go do it, but then you start second guessing yourself, that's that Pluto energy creeping in. So just remember that throughout this new moon cycle, because I think that it's going to be really positive for us, but I also think that there is that chance of fearful thoughts and second guessing yourself. So the Emperor is actually the card for the tarot card, major arcana, that stands for Aries. So the Emperor is the number 4 in the major arcana of the tarot. And I like this depiction. I'm going to show you what deck I'm using. So I actually have 3 decks I'm using today, but this one is actually, and I think I've used it before, I'm pretty sure I have. Yep. So this Tarot of Dreams is the one that I'm using here by Mario, what's his name? Mario Franchetti? Yes, Mario Cerchetti. So he does a really good job with this tarot deck. And what I like about this Emperor, usually in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, you'll see like an Emperor sitting amongst like a big throne that has these ram's heads on the throne, and you can tell like he's in armor and he has like this red cloak on, and it's like this symbolism of like ruling, you know, this entire, you know, nation, this, you know, he has his huge entourage of like people who help him. And what I like about this one is that it's all in gold, and so I feel like that gold is also symbolizing that fire and sun energy that is really big with fire signs. So I think Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries at this time, if you have any of those signs in your natal chart, this is probably going to be a really big initiative driving time for you. And I think that the other thing with Emperor, though, is it also helps us kind of get in our warrior mode, if you will, meaning like if you haven't had the what am I trying to say? If you have been nervous about maybe things at work or speaking up for yourself or things that you were nervous about, I feel like the Emperor is like that. You know what? I'm going to put on my armor. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get stuff done. So I feel like this energy is really big at this new moon in Aries. So I invite you to kind of channel your inner Emperor during this new moon in Aries time. Okay, so let's get into the tarot. I'm actually going to use the singing bowl. I'm going to try to do it a little louder. Last time when I did the singing bowl, I couldn't really hear it. So I want you to try to be as quiet as you can, and I'm going to clear the energies in the room. This really usually helps me be able to also like channel the cards better. Okay, hopefully that came through well on the video, because I can definitely feel the sound vibration really helps me like center myself and be able to hone in on like the energies coming in. So that really is helpful. All right, the other two decks I'm going to use today, I'm actually going to use one deck to pull the past, present, and future. I'm going to use another deck for clarifying, and then I'm going to use another deck for just doing like the main energies. Okay, so I think I've showed you all this one before. I shouldn't say I think. I know I've showed you all this one before, which is the Modern Witch Tarot deck, which I really love, and it really is kind of like channeling your inner girl power. So I really love that. And then it's just, my other one is just kind of like a Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is, you know, just the basic tarot deck. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's see, I'm going to move that one. I'm going to do that one as my clarifiers. Okay, so spirit guides, please help us understand what we need to know at this new moon in Aries. So as I'm shuffling this deck, I want you to think through, what is it that you have been kind of sitting on the fence about? You need some guidance. You have anything that you are wanting to do but still feel like you might not have all of the resources to do, or you need to go tell your boss something but you haven't been able to. Maybe you need a vacation and you haven't been able to work up the energy to ask. Whatever it is, this is the time to ask Spirit to help and guide you to use this new moon in Aries energy to your best ability. So this is what just came out, and it's the Hangman in reverse. What I really like about that is usually so the Hangman is the number 12 major arcana card, but when it's upright, it's usually like there might be a decision to be made, and you can't really get the right information right now. Things might be like in a stalemate situation, like you're just kind of hanging out, like you're waiting for a decision. But I feel like when it is in the reverse position, it's almost like you're enlightened. It's almost like you're standing up, and now instead of you being confused or waiting on people, you're actually very clear, or you see things in a different way. That's the other meaning of the hangman, is maybe you need to wait and look at things from a different angle. But when it's in reverse, I always think that's really positive, because I think that the hangman also symbolizes like this strength, like, okay, I'm no longer in limbo. I'm no longer waiting on something. So I think that's a really great card to have just popped out there. Let's move these other cards off camera so we have plenty of space to put our deck, put our spread. Okay, I'm excited. That's a great, number 12 has been coming up a lot. And I also think the number 12 for me symbolizes the calendar year. And so remember, or it can symbolize the 12 astrology signs, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like for us starting this new astrological year, maybe this year is going to be like, that's the symbolism of us seeing things in a different light, being able to feel a little clearer about moving forward into our new astrological year. So I think that's great. Okay, so we're going to cut the deck and do a past, present, and future. All right, so in the past, we have the Four of Swords. In the present, we have the World card. That's awesome. I love to see the World card in the present. And in the future, we have the Palace of Swords. And in this deck, he uses palaces, and I usually throw those out because I like to use the cards that like symbolize the Rider-Waite deck. So I'm not going to use that one. We're just going to put it to the side. But basically, this is kind of symbolizing you kind of have reached that place where your home is... your home has this mental energy of like clarity around it. So we still can like keep that kind of like in our mindset, but I'm not going to use it in our spread. So let's see. The next one is the Seven of Wands. So this makes a lot more sense to me with it just being the fire energy. And you can see up here we have Mars, we have Leo. Makes a lot of sense with us with this Aries new moon, fire energy. So I'm glad that I pulled that next one. Okay, so let's look at the past. So the past is this Four of Swords. Usually in the Rider-Waite deck, it is depicted by almost like a soldier who's like come off the battlefield, if you will, and they're like resting, and they have like a sword underneath of them, and like you see 3 swords in the background. And it basically usually symbolizes it's a time for you to rest, not think through things so much, rest from all of maybe the mental clutter that's been in your mind. Here you see this woman. You can see also back here, you can see the armor helmet that they had on. You can see the swords, but they're resting. So this Four of Swords to me in the past is like you went through this time period where you had like a lot of mental reworking to do. I think this could also be all of that Aquarius energy that we went through over these past couple of months. Remember, we had that stellium of Aquarius energy. Saturn and Jupiter are still in Aquarius. So, I mean, this definitely could be like energy around you need to rest, relax, take care of yourself. Maybe those type of things of energies have come up in the past. So I think this is a great energy though to take care of yourself. I think that a lot of people have been just like running themselves ragged, especially after 2020. Coming into 2021 wasn't the smoothest transition either. So I think that this is kind of like, okay, I'm mentally like drained. In the past, you've been drained and you just need to rest, okay? In the present is the World card. And the World card is the 21, which is a major arcana as well. And I like this depiction of the World card because I like how it shows the 4 elements here. And it also has this energy of like cycles. And I feel like the World card is always that last card, meaning like you've arrived, like you've been on this journey all the way from the Fool to the World, and you have finished a cycle, and now it's time to start anew. And so I think that this is really, really synchronistic with this Aries new moon, because like I was telling you, the new moon means new cycles, new manifestation periods, a new time to be able to like restart, or I should say end a cycle, but start something anew. So I think this World card is a really great depiction of what is it in your life that you've been afraid to get started, you've been nervous to get started, you didn't have the resources, the information, what have you. This World card is saying, you know what? This is now the time. This is now the time to jumpstart whatever those dreams are that you have. Let's start anew for these next 12 months. Let's get this thing going. So that's really great energy here in the present. And then in the future, we have this 7 of Wands. And like I said, this is pretty on point with that fiery energy of Aries. And especially since it's the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Wands is usually like, you're feeling like in the Rider-Waite deck, it's like the man is standing there and he's like trying to fight off. You only see him with his wand, and all you see are like the other 6 wands kind of like jabbing at him or trying to get to him. And it's like you feel like you are like an army of one having to fight all of these different wands. And these wands could be different people, it could be different energies. You just feel like it's a constant battle and you're having to like, you know, stand your ground, if you will. And so I think that one of the things I do want to point out about Aries energy is watch out for being too hasty, too like just trigger happy, because the great thing about Aries, or I should say the higher energy part of Aries, is like that can't wait to get started, you're fired up. But then the lower vibrational energy of Aries is you don't always think through everything. You're just hasty. The first thing you see, you just want to, you know, if someone comes to you with a proposition, you're already ready to buy. You're already like, you're just like go, 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 go. And you're not taking the time to like think through things. And so I think with this energy, I think the universe is reminding you, it's fine to get started. It's fine to like jumpstart and get yourself going, but make sure you're doing your research. Make sure you are doing your due diligence, or you're going to end up feeling like, okay, I did all of this and now I feel like everyone is against me, or maybe I did it too quickly and now I have all these things to think about. You know, it's just like wands are like flying at me. So keep this in the top of your mind as you move through, especially this Aries season, but also this next calendar. I keep saying calendar year, but I really mean this next astrological year, from this Aries new moon until Aries new moon of 2022. Be careful of these energies where you're just like kind of trigger happy. You're not thinking through things. You're just like ready to get into action, but kind of forgetting like, okay, wait a minute, I did want to start that, you know, new website. Let me go spend $5,000 on, you know, getting a developer, and $2,000 for inventory. And you know what I mean? Like, make sure you're doing your research. Maybe you can find out that you can get a website done, you know, for $50 with WordPress, and you can just do it yourself. Like, there's so many different things to think through, and that's what that 7 of Wands is reminding you. Okay, so now I want to pull a clarity card for clarification card on each of our past, present, and future spread, because I also think that it's interesting that since we got that Hangman in reverse, there's a lot of clarity that is going to be coming through. And so I think that's a really positive sign as we move through this Aries new moon, because, whoop, so that card just fell out. All right, so the Two of Pentacles just fell out, and it fell out when I was talking about clarity. So some of you all might be having 2 job offers, or 2 sources of income, or something that has to do with your resources, something that has to do with a decision has to be made. With the Hangman being in reverse and clarity, maybe you're not going to have too hard of a decision trying to choose which one is better, but there's something that's going to be coming up in this Aries new moon time that have to do with your resources, making a decision about your resources, making a decision about a job. So that's very positive. And it's good to see it kind of corresponding with the Hangman in reverse, because it's kind of like there's some clarity here. You're not feeling confused. If the Hangman was in the upright position and you got the Two of Pentacles, it might be a hard decision to make, or you might be waiting on a decision or an outcome on something that you have, you know, maybe a loan offer or a loan, so call them a loan application, maybe a loan application, something you put in, maybe you were waiting. But like I said, the Hangman is in reverse, so I think that you're not going to have as much of a hard time figuring out a decision than you thought. Okay, so let's clarify that Four of Swords, the World card, and the Seven of Wands for the future. Okay, so for the Four of Wands, I got the Three of Pentacles. Very interesting that it's the next card after the Two of Pentacles. So there might be something that you were trying to learn in the past. Maybe you were taking classes, but since it's clarifying this Four of Swords, I'm going to talk about that, because I'm almost thinking like you're like burned out from something you were trying to learn. All right, the Nine of Wands is clarifying the World card in the present. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. More fire energy. And in the future, look at that. We have the Magician. Love, love, love to see the Magician in the future. That is like anything you want to accomplish, you can do. All right. So I don't even think I'm going to need that third deck that I had pulled out, because this is like one of the most straightforward readings we've done in a while. So, and I invite you to look back over Scorpio Soul Time's playlist, because there are quite a few videos. Like if you go back 6 months ago to the Aries full moon, it will be interesting to see for yourself like what has manifested since that full moon, or what things you let go since that full moon, and now you're like starting fresh. Or you can even go all the way back a year ago to the Aries new moon of 2020 and see what have you accomplished since then. Scorpio Soul Time actually started at the Aries new moon in 2019. So I guess this is actually my 2-year anniversary. So that's kind of exciting. All right, so like I said, Aries is always a good initiating energy. All right, so the Three of Pentacles, like I was saying, is you have been learning something. Maybe you went to classes, maybe you've been studying, maybe you've been learning a new hobby. Maybe this is something for work. Since it's dealing with pentacles, it probably has something more to do with how you make money, your job. So with it clarifying the Four of Swords though, I'm reading this as you're burned out from something that you were having to learn. So maybe at work, you've had new policies and changes since, you've been back from, the COVID shutdown, or maybe you've brought on new people, or maybe you don't have enough people at work and you're having to learn new skills and you're just burned out. And so I'm really do think this is a good energy in the past, because to me it's symbolizing like you're needing to rest from it, like you've been able to kind of move on from this, but it looks like you were learning something, or maybe you were teaching somebody else how to do something, maybe you were training someone, but this energy could be one of you needing to figure out how to rest, or maybe how to have more balance. That's the other thing with the Four of Swords. Sometimes it can be more of a mental energy. And right when I said balance, I see up here the Libra symbol, which Libra is like that symbol of balance. So there definitely is this energy of, in the past, where do you need balance, rest, just taking a mental break from anything that you've been working through, working at work, school, just trying to take on new maybe responsibilities in a new role, or one that you've walked into. Make sure you're taking time for yourself. Make sure you're finding some balance from whatever that was in the past, okay? In the present, we have the Nine of Wands and we have the World card. And so I think that this is really, I mean, this is like really straightforward, because this is really saying like, in the present, especially with this Aries new moon, Aries definitely is that fire energy, which is the wand suit. And so this fiery energy of 9 is usually like, you've just been through like all of this marathon. You're looking back over your shoulder like, am I almost done? Am I almost done? Is someone following me? It's kind of like that thing, like, you know, you've been working towards getting, you know, a report out at work, and literally up to the last minute, you've been grinding, and now you're kind of like, oh, am I done? Can I take a breath? And so I feel like this clarifying the World card is just like reiterating, like you're at the end of a cycle. You're almost, that 9 is like almost at the 10, meaning like you are almost there. Maybe some of you are trying to wrap up something in this new moon in Aries cycle, where you're kind of like tired, you're worn out, and you're just trying to figure out, okay, am I almost done? And I think that pairs well with the Four of Swords and the Three of Pentacles, because there's almost like this energy of something you've been trying to like rest up from, but you're still a little weary. Like there could be still signs or parts of it in your world that are still here, that are like, oh, I still have to do that part, but then I'm going to be done. Or I still need to figure out, you know, how to work through this energy, but then I'm going to be done. So that's a really nice energy to have though in this present, because I feel like that Aries new moon with all those planets going, I mean, all the planets are direct, but all those planets like with that forward movement energy is really going to be helpful. And remember, Mars is the ruler of Aries. So the Mars is like really like, let's get things popping. And I'm realizing what I forgot to tell you all is Mars is actually in Gemini right now. So I'm going to show you on the astrological wheel. So Mars is actually at 23 degrees of Gemini. So that's a really good energy for like communicating, getting things done, getting together with colleagues. You know, communication is going to be a lot easier and flow better through this Aries time, because Mars is like this energy of action and moving forward. But remember, there's still, remember this Mars here with that Seven of Wands in the future. There's still kind of like that, okay, don't get too excited, because you're gonna like put the cart in front of the horse and be like all over the place, right? So still bear that in mind through this Aries season. And in the future, we have the Magician and the Seven of Wands clarifying. And so I think that this is a nice energy too, because it's like anytime you get the Magician is a really positive energy, because this is symbolizing you have everything you need to make what you want to happen. Like you have the wands, you have the sword, you have the cups, you have the pentacles. Like there is nothing else you need. You see the infinity symbol over her head. Like there is this cycle of, you know, rebirth, death, rebirth, and death. Like the Seven of Wands is literally like, okay, you've been doing all this stuff on your own. And I think this Magician is kind of like playing into that individual, standing up for yourself, feeling like you can do it now. So it's kind of like, even though you might feel like you're all alone or you're having to like defend yourself, I feel like this Magician card is kind of like, yeah, you're having to do stuff on your own, but you've got this. Like, the universe is going to help you. You just need to stand your ground, keep things moving, you know, keep yourself in this kind of like forward momentum. Even if you take a few steps back, know that kind of like the Magician, I feel like, has your back. Like, you're going to be able to like make things happen. And I think that this is important as we go through this Aries season, because I think many of us are like, happy that things are kind of like forward momentum, as opposed to like in 2020 when it just felt everything felt like it was going at a snail's pace. But I also feel like a lot of us are like, oh man, I'm really tired or oh man, there's so much stuff going on. And so I think that that is where we all kind of have to go back to this Four of Swords and realize that we might need to rest. We might need to like you know, practice self-care. I tell you all that all the time. Get out in nature. You're going to have to find a way to expel some of this extra energy, because I feel like Mars is this energy of like, go, 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 go. Like, you're trying to rest. Oh no, you don't have time to rest. You know, there's 25 emails coming at you at the same time. People are coming in your office. Like, you're trying to, you know, get your child's, you know, stuff done. You have to leave work to go take them to the doctor. I mean, there's just like, everything is kind of like going lightning speed. And I also feel it in myself. Like, even right now, I feel like I'm talking faster. And I feel like Gemini with the Mars energy is kind of like this communication where you're like this. Like everyone's just like, ah, like, so I feel like it's a really great action-oriented energy, but it definitely demands you to take some time out for yourself, so you're not feeling overworked, overburdened. If it's anything like, I've told you all in the past, we moved from a house into an apartment to like downsize and really like get our finances in order and save money and invest. And like, my daughter and I are really excited because we finally have a pool to go to like at our apartment complex. And I feel like it's like simple stuff like that. Like, we can take walks now. Like, my husband and I take walks around the fountain where it's like really pretty, and like the ducks were out the other day. And so I just think that there's like this energy of like, we are slowly coming into like this season of action, as opposed to us just kind of like sitting by the wayside and watching the world go by. I felt like 2020 was this year that everything was just so like random and things were just flying out of nowhere. This to me feels like this next 12 months from this Aries new moon is this initiating, you've got this energy, and just be careful of getting too, you know, what am I saying? Don't take on everything on your own. Still realize that you should have people around you to help you, or if you can't, there should be resources you can find. I think this Two of Pentacles is going to have you making some important decisions about your life, but I think that Hangman in reverse is like, you're going to get clarity, you're going to feel more confident moving forward. And I know all of this because this Magician in the future is like, look, girl, you got this. Like, this Magician is like, think of this like throughout the next 12 months. Like, you got this, girl. All right, y'all. I think that's it for today. I think this is a really good reading. I'm excited about the next 12 months. I hope you all are too. Leave your comments down in the comments section. I would love if you liked, subscribed, and shared this with your friends. And I hope you have a great Aries new moon season. Talk to you all later. Bye.